Okay, so the three ratios that we went over, sine, cosine, tangent, and then I asked you to do the three circles in your homework, right, by yourself. So let's go over the ratios now, okay? For cosine. Cosine, what's the zero angle, right? Cosine of zero, what's the ratio? Eric?
1.
1, yep. What is cosine pi over 2? Tiana?
0.
Yeah, very good. Okay, what is cosine of pi? Trudy? Trudy, are you there?
I'm sorry.
Cosine of pi.
Cosine of pi.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Yeah, what's the cosine of pi?
The cosine of pi is 0.9.
Okay, cosine of cosine of pi, you need to, cosine means which side over which side?
Oh, yeah. It would
Pi means
be,
it turns to the left side now, right?
yeah.
Okay, cosine is which side over which side?
Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse.
Yeah, adjacent over hypotenuse. And adjacent is the x or the y, which one?
The adjacent is the x.
Okay, so what's the x here?
-1.
Yeah, so it will be -1 over hypotenuse. What's the hypotenuse?
1.
Yes, so what's -1 over 1?
-1.
Yeah, okay, so that's how you get the ratio if it stops on the axis. Can you try one more? Okay, Trudy, how about cosine of 3 pi over 2? So that means it turns to down here now, 3 pi over 2.
It's 0.
Yes, very good. Okay, so that will be for cosine, right? These things should be reviewed from last year, okay? We went over this chart before, and then we asked you to use the arm, right, to rotate and find the ratios. Let's look at tangent now, okay? Tangent of 0, what's that, William?
Tangent 0,
Yeah,
is it 0?
yeah, it
I
will be
forgot.
0. Yeah, very good. Okay, what is tangent of pi over 2, Irae?
Undefined.
Undefined, very good. So NA, right? Tangent of pi, Samantha?
0.
0, very good. Okay, last one, tangent of 3 pi over 2. Cindy?
NA.
Yeah, NA, okay? You get something over 0, right? So that's why it's NA. Okay, so last year I told you that you could memorize using the letter, right? Sort of a little trick to help you remember, right? The I, see I boxed the sign, the middle letter. Middle letter is an I, okay? Let me highlight that. Oops. Okay, here, right? I means looks like a 1, right? So the middle line, when it's on the y-axis, is either 1 or -1. 1 or -1, okay? And then the other two will be the 0, x-axis. Now for the cosine, the middle letter is an O. O looks like a 0, so you get 0 and 0, right? So the other two will be right side is 1, left side is -1. Okay, so use the letter to remember. Now tangent. Tangent is TAN, right? So NAAN, right? They are the same letter, right? So not applicable, meaning undefined, right? So you just need to remember that the x-axis will be 0, okay? Because it's the flipping of undefined, right? Think about undefined. Undefined came from -1 over 0, right? This one is -1 over 0. So if you flip that, right, then you will get 0 over -1, right? So it becomes 0. So it's the other way. So now that's from last year's sine, cosine, tangent. But this year we had other, like 3 more, right? But the 3 extra one, they are basically the reciprocal of what you learned already, okay? So you could use what you have, use what you already memorized, and then to derive the new ones, okay? So for example, the reciprocal of sine. What's reciprocal of sine called? Tiana?
Cosecant.
Cosecant, okay? So I'll use the green and write it beside it, okay? So cosecant, if you want to find the ratio for cosecant, then you just reciprocal the ratios of the sine, okay? So for example, reciprocal of 0, so 0 will be like 0 over 1, right? So flip that will be 1 over 0, which will be undefined, okay? So you can write NA, right? Or simply let's just write 0 with a line with a slash, right? Meaning it's undefined, okay? And then reciprocal of 1. So 1 is like 1 over 1, right? So if you flip it, it's still 1. So it stays the same for cosecant, okay? And then left side will be same thing, NA, right? For the green one, and then the bottom is -1. Okay, so I would like you to try and fill out the other ones, okay? The secant and the cotangent. So once you got the ratio for those two, please raise your hand, okay? So secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Cotangent is reciprocal of tangent, okay? So fill out the ratio. Try to use a different color, right? So you don't get too messy on your chart. So raise your hand if you finish all the ratios.
Wait, Jason, ratios
Yeah.
for what?
Ratios for the ones for the secant, right, and cotangent around the like on the axis. Do you get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because I already did the cosecant, okay? So you do the secant and cotangent on your own. And Cindy, William, and Trudy, I haven't got your homework.
I didn't have time to do it.
Yeah, same.
Me neither.
Summer school is hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have to do not, well, if you're really busy, right? Like I said before, you have to at least do half of it, right? To at least keep your memory, right? Still there. So then you don't forget too much when we start new things, okay? You should have some time to do some, right? Not everything, but at least you show me that you tried, okay? Okay, let's check some answers. Okay, so for cosine, okay, we'll start with 0, okay? So secant of 0. What's the answer, Donna?
One.
Secant of 0, 1, yeah, okay. And then secant of pi over 2, William?
Zero cross thing.
So you can say undefined.
Undefined, yes.
Okay, I'll just go in order, okay, counterclockwise. Okay, next one, Eric. Eric,
Oh, -1.
-1, yep, very good. Okay, flipping of -1 is the same. Tiana, next one,
Undefined.
define, okay. All right, let's move on to tangent. Okay, tangent, Cindy, cotangent, cotangent of 0.
For which one?
The first one, we start from 0.
Undefined.
Yeah, okay. Next one, Samantha. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, what's the answer for the next one?
Which one?
Cotangent of pi over 2.
Zero.
Yeah. Okay, next one, Trudy.
Undefined.
Yeah. Ray, last one.
0.
0. Okay. So now I would like you to memorize these ones, right? So use your arm, use the letter. I already help you with the highlighted, right? Look at the yellow highlighted, right? For the sine, middle is 1 and -1. For cosine, middle is 0, 0, right? For tangent, the middle is undefined. Okay, and then the rest of them you can just derive from it, right? Cosecant, you just think about sine, the flipping. Okay, so try to close your eyes. Okay, I actually, how about we'll do this? Okay, we'll actually just say try this all together. So what we're gonna do is we'll go start with sine, and you just tell me 0, 1, 0, -1. Okay, we'll go in order. Okay, so I would like everybody turn on your mic. We'll just say this together. Okay, Elaine and Donna, please turn on your mic. Okay, so let's say it together. Okay, sine. Let's say one more time. Sine
Sine.
Nine.
0, 1, 0, -1.
0, 1, 0, -1.
-1.
Okay, cosecant.
Cosecant.
Undefined 1, undefined -1.
Undefined 1, -1.
Undefined -1.
Yeah, so you just go in order, okay, from 0 degree until 270 degree, okay, because 360 degree will back to the original, okay. We'll go to cosine now, okay. So let's say together cosine.
Cosine.
1, 0, -1, 0.
1,
1, 0,
-1, 0.
Okay. Secant.
Secant.
1 undefined, -1 undefined.
1
Undefined.
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 -1 undefined.
Yeah, very good. Okay, last pair. Tangent.
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 0 undefined, 0 undefined.
0
Zero
undefined.
Undefined. 0
Zero
undefined.
undefined.
Cotangent.
Cotangent.
Tangent.
Undefined 0, undefined 0.
Undefined 0, undefined 0.
0.
Okay, so let's you can try close your book now. Okay, I'll test some of you. Okay, Yeah, so without looking at your notes, okay, let's try. Okay, Cindy, what is cosecant of pi?
Undefined.
Yeah, okay, so you think about sine, right? Sine of pi is 0, so you flip it, it'll be undefined, okay? Next one, Ray, what is secant of pi over 2?
Undefined.
Yeah, very good. Donna, what is cotangent of 3 pi over 2?
Zero.
0, yeah. Cotangent is the flipping of undefined, right? Okay, now here's a little bit challenging one, okay? I'm gonna go the other way now. What is cosecant of negative pi, William?
Cosecant of negative pi?
No,
0? Wait,
about sine. Where is sine negative pi?
sine negative pi. It's the same as positive pi, right? 180.
Yes,
So 0.
that's for sine, right?
Sine. So
My
cosecant is undefined.
Yes, very good. Okay. And then let's try secant, okay? Secant of negative pi over 2. Tiana?
Undefined.
Undefined, very good. Okay, so as I'm asking other people, right? Those of you are not asked, you can also think about the answer, right? See if you can get faster too. Okay, let's try one more, okay? What is cotangent of negative 3 pi over 2? Cotangent, negative 3 pi over 2. Trudy?
Sorry, my little sister was asking me something.
Cotangent of negative 3 pi over 2.
Uh, hmm?
Yeah, what's your answer?
Wait, could you repeat that?
Cotangent of negative 3 pi over 2.
That would be 0.
0, yeah, very good. Okay, because tangent will be undefined there, and then it will flip over, become 0. Okay, all right, so we have one more. Okay, let's ask Samantha, what is secant of pi?
-1.
-1, yeah, very good. Okay, so now everybody please try the chart at the bottom and please take something to cover the top, okay? So you don't see the 3 circles, right? Try to do this exercise without any help, okay, from the pictures. Okay, so when you finish everything at the bottom, please raise your hand. All the angles here, they all stop on the axis, okay? Okay, please raise your hand if you're finished. Let's check answer for column, okay? We'll go through from left to right, the column. So for example, I'll do the first column, okay? And I'll ask next person to tell me your answer. Like tangent 0 will be 0, right? Cosine 180, so that will be -1, right? Sine 91. Secant, you think about cosine. Cosine 180 is -1, flipping, it's still the same. Cosecant power 2 is like sine. Sine will stay the same. Okay, so that's the first column. Okay, so I would like you to tell me the second column. Cindy, what's your answer for second column?
-1,
-1,
0,
0,
-1,
-1,
undefined,
undefined,
-1.
-1. Does anybody have something different here?
For B, I have 0.
B, is it 0? What do you think, Cindy?
Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, okay, so as we turn to 180 degree will be there, right? So remember sine will be 1, -1, the rest of them are 0, okay? So it will be 0 there. Okay. Anything else? Anything else different? Looks good? Okay, all right, next column. Tiana, can you tell me your next column?
Cosine 270 is 0.
Yep.
Cosine of 90 is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Tangent of -270 is undefined.
Mm-hmm.
Cosine of 90 is 0.
Also, the same question there. Okay, and then?
And cotangent of 5 pi over 2 is undefined.
Undefined. Does anybody get something different here? Okay, we all agree. Next column, last one. Trudy, can you tell me yours?
I got 0, undefined, -1, 0, and then undefined.
Anyone got different? So we all good? Okay, no questions? Okay, so everything up to here, this is like one part, one section, okay? Because everything here is about finding the exact values, right? So it all comes to here, right? To this summary, find exact value or find ratios. So you follow the 4 steps if the angle is not on the axis, right? So here I would like you to add it in, okay? Go back to which page? Page 41, okay? Go to the method. So if, okay, add the sentence in. If data is on axis, then use these 3 circles, right? So we can quickly fill them in. We have the sine, we have cosine, and tangent, right? And we also have the one with the reciprocal, right? Cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So you can leave the numbers blank, okay? So then when you study for the review, right? For the test, you can just look at the 3 cross and then test yourself, right? See if you still remember the 3 numbers, right? You just go in circle 0, 1, 0, -1, okay? Like we did in class, right? And then undefined, 1, undefined, -1, okay? Test yourself like that, okay? So that's if you have angle on the axis, okay? Then you have to use the 3 cross, okay? Use 3 cross, okay? All right, so that's it, right? For the finding exact value. The next part is going backwards, okay? Instead of giving you the angle, they will give you the exact value now. Okay, and then you want to go back and find what angles will have those exact value. Okay, so since it's going backwards, so used to be your step 4 will now become your step 1, right? So the steps will be going backwards too. So you will draw the angle at the last step, okay? Because you don't know the angle, so of course you cannot draw angle first. Okay, so that way you will not mix up the steps, right? If you know the angle, you have to start by drawing the angle. Okay, so let's go to the page now. Okay, so this one, let's fill out the 4 steps. So what you can do, right, just write out the 4 steps backwards. Okay, so once you finish writing the 4 steps, please raise your hand. And leave some space at the bottom, okay? There's an if as well, okay? So we'll talk about that. What's the if? So write out 1, 2, 3, 4. So William, what is step 1?
Check sign.
Yep, very good. Check sign, right? We're checking positive, negative sign, right, for the ratio. What is step 2, Donna?
Check side.
No, that's step 1.
Side ratio.
Side ratio, yes. Side ratio. Right, because they give you the side ratio, they also tell you if it's positive or negative. So that's why you start with those 2, right? You won't start by drawing the angle. You don't know where they are yet. Okay, number 3, step 3 should be what? Trudy?
Not sure.
We are going backwards, right? So the steps are backwards.
Oh,
Like that before, okay?
reference angle.
Yeah, reference angle, okay. Okay, what about last step? Ray?
Draw the angle.
Yes, draw the angle. Okay, now this part, we need to add something in, okay? So this part will be a little different. We want to draw the angle in domain, okay? Because they will always tell you what kind of domain you are looking for the angle, because if they don't tell you that, you can have infinite number of answers, okay? So you only want to give angles that are within the domain they give you. So domain will be something like these things, the part I'm circling right now. These are called domain. Let me draw it again. These ones, okay? So they will tell you that the angle is in between 0 to 2 pi, right? Or negative pi to pi. So these are called domain. Okay, so if you are looking for ratio, they don't need to give you domain because they already tell you the angle, right? So it's fixed. But if you are looking for angle, then you have to make sure you look at the domain. Otherwise, you don't know what angle they want. Okay, so draw angle in domain. So you need to add that in, all right? So the if is for later, okay? We'll fill that in later. Let's try a question together, okay? So let's do something that is reciprocal, okay? So D, E, F, let's pick one, okay? Tiana, which one do you want to do together? D, E, F.
D.
E, okay, so let's try that, right? So we just follow the steps. Step one is to check sign, right? So you look at secant. Okay, we have secant that is negative, right? So having a secant negative, it tells us which quadrant. Where is secant negative? Think about it. Where is secant negative? Cindy?
Quadrant 2 and 3.
Louder and more confident.
2 and 3.
Which one?
2 and 3.
Yes, okay, very good. 2 and 3. You think about cosine, right? Secant and cosine, they share the same place. So cosine negative 2 and 3. So secant will also be 2 and 3. So that's your step one, right? Step one, you check the sign, then you figure out the quadrant. So now let's put the side ratios into the picture, okay? So we'll draw quadrant 2, right? Quadrant 2 will be here. Angle will be there. That's our first angle, right? Second angle, it will turn to 3, right? So it'll be this part, quadrant 3. And then side ratios, right? So secant is which side over which side? Donna? Donna?
Sorry. Hypotenuse over adjacent.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so hypotenuse over adjacent. So if you have a fraction, right, then you just match, right? Hypotenuse is a 2, adjacent is a 3, and then you just fill that into the picture. 2, adjacent is root 3, right? 2 root 3. So by having 2 of the sides, you know the last side must be the 1, right? Root 3, 1, 2 is like a combo, right? And then the other one is the 1 as well, okay? So now you have the 3 sides, so that's called side ratio. So you finish step 1 and 2 now. Check sign, you find a quadrant. Side ratio, you fill in the picture, okay? So now by looking at the picture now, you can figure out the reference angle. Reference angle means the little angle inside the triangle, the little dot, okay? How big that angle is. So let's write that on the side. Theta r, okay? We are doing in radian, okay? How do I know there's a radian? You can look at the domain, right? Domain is not telling you it's a degree, right? Not 0 to 360. So we know we have to answer in radian. So please look at the picture. How big is that radian reference angle? Eric?
30 degrees.
In radian.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Should be what?
Pi over 6.
Yes, pi over 6. Okay, very good. All right, so we got the reference angle. The final step is to find the answer that we want, right? So here I have two domains. So for you to practice finding two different answers, right? If the domain change, sometimes they do give you different domain. It's not always 0 to 2 pi, okay? So if it's 0 to 2 pi, okay, so that's the answer 1, okay? If the domain is 0 to 2 pi, that means you are looking for, okay, since it's our first question, okay, I'll rather draw the circle on the side, okay? For answer 1, you are looking for all the angles from 0 radian until 2 pi radian. So making a full circle, right? In a counterclockwise rotation, right? So the first angle that you want to find is this one. Okay, we know pi over 6 is the reference. And think about pizza, right? The pizza has 6 slices now, right? Because it's pi over 6. So you have that. Okay, the red dot is the reference. The angle that we want to find covers so many slices. Okay, so how big is that angle? William?
Angle?
Yeah, how big is that angle?
150?
We are not doing degree. Okay, come on. You cannot always think degree and then change to radian. Look at the pizza that I drew. Okay, the
Uh-huh.
left side you have a pizza, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the pi over 6 is one of the slice. And then the angle is, the angle that we want to find is the other slices. So how many slices are there?
5?
Yes, okay, and each one is pi over 6. So total will be,
5 pi over 6.
yeah, okay, so that way you don't find degree and then change to radian. Okay, that's an extra step. So always just count the slices, that will be faster. Okay, so that's the first angle. Now we're not done yet, right? Because we want to find all the angle within 0 to 2 pi. So you have to keep turning because it will hit the second place, third quadrant. Okay, so that means the pizza goes to the bottom part now. Okay, so it has to cover all the way down past the pi and then cover one more slice. So total, how many slices in total now? Tiana? What's the angle for the second one?
7 pi over 6.
Yes, very good. Okay, so you just count the number of slices that it covers, right? If it's over 6, if the reference angle is over 6, that means you need to cut into 6 slices. Okay, if the reference angle is pi over 4, then you cut it into 4 slices, okay, for each half circle. Okay, that's how I know how many slices to cut. Okay, so that's the answer for first one. Okay, first domain. Any questions so far? Okay, if anyone has any small, even like smallest question, you have to ask me. Okay, otherwise later on, when you're on your own, you'll have trouble. Okay. Second part means the domain now is negative pi to pi. Okay, so you're searching angle in a different section. Okay, instead of a full circle from 0 to 2 pi, you want some angle that are negative, some angle that are positive, right? Negative pi to pi. So if I want to show that in a picture, this time I'll use green color, okay? So the negative pi to pi, negative pi means you have to turn clockwise, right? So it goes down, that's called negative pi, right? And then positive pi, then you go the other way. So you are scanning for your answer in a different direction, right? Instead of just turning positive, okay? You are not just looking for the positive angles. You want half of it negative, half of it positive, okay? So now with the same picture, I'm going to scan for the positive side first, okay? So follow the green color. So turn to there, right? So how big is that angle now? Trudy?
Mm.
How big is it? Is that green angle?
It's
Do you know?
no.
Okay. Were you beside? Were you here, or doing something else? Did you understand how we get the two angles for the red?
Yeah.
Okay. So that green angle right now, does it look like one of the red ones?
Yeah.
Which one?
5 pi over 6.
So the angle is 5 pi over 6. That's it, okay? It's the same place and it's turning the same direction, okay? So I would like you to try the other one now, okay? So don't walk away. The other one is I have to turn to negative pi, okay? So I have to turn downwards now. How big would that angle be? Trudy, you want to try this one again?
Negative 5 pi over 6.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so it's the same amount by turning the other way and missing one piece, right? So if you look at the slices, it's going down to there, right? So it still covers 5 pieces, but it has to go in the negative directions. Okay, so that's how you get the second answer. So depending on the domain, okay, your answer will be different. So that's why they have to give you the domain. Otherwise, you don't know what answer they want, okay? So those domains are given there for a reason. So each question, you will have 2 sets of answers, okay? Sometimes it will be the same, sometimes they're all different, okay? So you can tell that from the pictures. Anyone has question about this example? I went through this very thoroughly, okay, so that you can try to look at this question and then help you with other ones. Okay, does anyone has question? Can you show me hands? Okay, if you understand this one. Donna, Samantha, do you have questions? How about Samantha? You're good? Okay. So if everyone's good, then I'll let you try these 5 other questions, okay? So just do A to F. For question F, think about this one, right? It's written really, right? So think about how you can make question F look like other questions, right? If you make F look like other ones, then it becomes doable, okay? So I'll let you try the other 5 questions. And when you finish, please raise your hand, okay?
Jason,
Yeah.
do we need to draw the little angle?
You mean the pizza?
Yeah, and the two things on the bottom.
Oh, two things at the bottom. No, you don't need to.
Okay.
Yeah, those are just there to show you what the domain look like.
Okay.
Okay. I think 90% of the time, the domain will be just a normal one. Okay, 0 to 2 pi. Okay, but in some cases, they will give you some different domain. Okay, so just make sure you pay attention to that. Anyone has questions? Okay, I would like to know which question you guys are on, okay? William, what question are you working on?
E.
Okay. Trudy?
I'm on C.
C, okay. How about you, Ray? You, Ray, which question are you working on?
Oh, E.
Okay.
Is it to F?
Which, yeah, up to F.
Okay.
Anyone has question about how to do F? Okay, Cindy, which question are you working on?
F.
Okay. Any questions there, Cindy?
Kind of.
Okay. Are you stuck on F?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to do F, you think about how we can make F look like question E or question D, right? So, any idea? Have you tried something, F, Cindy?
Oh, now I'm thinking.
Right. So what you can do is think of cosine theta is a variable that you can call that A. Okay, I'm just giving you a hint, right? And then this one is also like an A. Okay, so this is like 5A minus 9 equal to A minus 1. So you want to make sure your A is by itself, right? Because if you look at other questions, right, all the cosine, cotangent, right, they are all by itself. So you want to isolate. Okay, so the hint is think about how you can isolate cosecant. Do you get what I mean, Cindy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So once you isolate it, the rest is the same, okay? You just do the 4 steps. Please raise your hand if you finished. Okay, let's check question A first, okay, while waiting for other people. So William, can you tell me for question A, which quadrant?
1 and 3.
Yep, 1 and 3, are you sure?
Oh wait, 2
Negative.
and oh, it's negative. Never mind. Then it's 2 and 4.
Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So you gotta fix A. Okay, I'll wait for you.
I did the bad. Damn it.
Okay, so 2 and 4. Next step is to fill in the sides, right? So be 1, 1, right? Opposite adjacent, opposite adjacent. So hypotenuse is the root 2, okay? So William, what is the reference angle then?
45.
In radian.
Uh, pi over 4.
Yeah, okay. So I got to push you guys to thinking radian now, okay? Otherwise, you always think about degree, change to radian. Okay, so now the first answer that we want to get, right? We want to draw the angle that we want. The first one will be here. What's the answer?
Me?
Yep,
3 pi over 4.
very good. Okay, second one,
7 pi over 4.
good. Okay, right. Now the green one will be 1 there. How big is that?
3 pi over 4.
Yep. The other one is going to the negative side. How big is that?
Pi over 4.
Pi over 4. We're going the other way.
Negative?
Yes, all right? Remember, clockwise, you have to use negative, right? To turn negative sign, right? The domain we want an angle that's in the positive, another angle in the negative, okay?
Hmm.
Now, next one. Let's see. Cindy, which quadrant?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay, very good. So we have, what are the sides? The 1 and root 2, where do we put them?
Root 2 is hypotenuse.
And
And
1,
1 is opposite. Wait,
cosine.
yeah, adjacent.
Adjacent, yeah. So adjacent will be down there, okay? So this one will have a 1, 1, root 2, okay? When you see a root 2 on the hypotenuse, right away you think about 1, 1, root 2, okay? So what is the reference now, Cindy?
Pi over 4.
Yeah, so same as before, right? So the first angle will be,
3 pi over 4.
okay? Second one,
9 pi over 4.
yeah. Okay, now the other domain, the first one,
3 pi over 4.
and then the negative side,
Negative 3 pi over 4.
yeah. Okay. Next one, which quadrant is it? Donna?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. Okay, the sides, where do we put the root 3?
Uh,
Is it, where do we put it at? Hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent, which one?
opposite.
Yes, opposite. And then what else do we put?
Negative 1, 2.
1, 2, right? 1, root 3, 2. Reference?
Pi over 3.
Yeah, okay. So our first answer will be
2 pi over 3.
second answer,
5 pi over 3.
5 pi over 3. Okay. And then the green answer,
2 pi over 3.
and the second one.
Negative pi over 3.
Okay, very good. Does anyone
Okay.
have questions? so far? Anyone got different? If you get something different and you like to know, like again, right? If you like me to explain again why we get those answers, you can let me know, okay? All right, next one. Trudy, which quadrant?
Quadrant 1 and 3.
1, 3, very good. Okay, so what do we put on the sides?
Hypotenuse is 2.
Yeah,
Adjacent is root 3.
yeah. Okay, so the last one will be 1. So root 3 there, 1 and 2. So what's the reference?
The reference is pi over 6.
Very good. Okay, the first red.
Pi over 6.
Okay, second red.
And then 7 pi over 6.
Yeah. Okay, and then the green one, the first green.
Not sure if it's right, but -5 pi over 6.
Well, -5 pi over 6 will be the second green.
Alright.
Yeah, second green is the one that going negative, right? So how about the first one? When you go positive, how big is that?
That's just pi over 6.
Yeah, it will be the same location as before, right? The positive one. Okay, very good. The last one we need to isolate cosecant, right? So Cindy, have you isolated yet? Cosecant data should equal to what?
2.
Equals to 2. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Okay, cosecant. Okay, C S C. Okay, so the quadrants should be where? Tiana?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay, very good. Okay, and then Irae, where do we put the side? What do we put on the sides?
For like the hypotenuse is 2, opposite is 1, and then adjacent is square root of 3.
Yep, okay, so the reference angle is, Irae, still you.
Pi over 6.
Okay, so the two answers for the red,
Pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6.
okay, and then for the green,
Same thing.
same thing. Okay, so pi over 6, 5 pi over 6 for the positive one. Now, if you try to turn negative because it's empty, right? There's nothing there, so you don't get any answer on the negative side. Okay, so this one is the only one that even though the domain changed, you still get the same answer. Okay, so it's not always different, right? You have to look at the picture and determine what answer you get. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, you can ask me during the break. Otherwise, we'll have a break for 15 minutes. I'll see you guys at 6:35. Okay?
I think there's a mistake on page 43.
Page 43.
12S.
Which one?
S.
S. Okay. Cotangent 5 pi over 2. Okay, so let's draw that out. 5 pi over 2, so that will be 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3, 4, 5 pi over 2, right? Is that where you put? Donna?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what's your answer?
0.
Should be 0, yes, you are correct, okay. Did you just find that out?
No.
Okay, yeah, next time you can let us know earlier, okay? So
Okay.
tangent is flipping a tangent, right? Tangent is undefined, so you flip that, it will become 0. Okay, very good. Any other questions? Okay, so I'll see you guys after the break.